For many years, the human being has tried to cover long distances the fastest way as possible, and one of his inventions was the plane. And when we refer to planes, this company definitely has something to show. We're talking about the Boeing Company, or Boeing. Boeing is an American multinational corporation that designs, manufactures, and sells airplanes, rotorcraft, rockets, satellites, telecommunications equipment, and missiles worldwide. The corporate headquarters are located in Chicago, Illinois. It has 160,000 employees distributed between the United States and the rest of the world. The factory is located in Everett, Washington, in the northeast corner of Plainfield, and is the largest building in the world. The company was founded by William Edward Boeing, a student from Yale University and American aviator, in Seattle, Washington, on July 15 from 1916 under the name of Aero Products Company. The corporation has five primary divisions, but the three main are Boeing Commercial Airplanes, Boeing Defense, Space and Security, and Boeing Global Services. It is among the largest global aerospace manufacturers. Also, it is the second largest defense contractor in the world and is the largest exporter in the United States by dollar value. In 2017, Boeing recorded 93.3 billion in sales, ranked the 24th on the Fortune magazine. That is a lot of money in sales. In fact, it is enough money to buy 100 towers in the Fifth Avenue in New York. Everything in the story started with the Boeing Model 1, also known as the B&W seaplane, named by its designers William Boeing and George Conrad Westervelt. The first B&W was named Bluebill, and the second was named Mallard. They first flew on June 15 from 1916. The two B&Ws were offered to the United States Navy, and when the Navy did not buy them, they were sold to the New Zealand Flying School and became the company's first international sale. On June 25 from 1919, the B&W set a New Zealand altitude record of 6,500 feet. The United States entered in the Great War in 1917. The Navy purchased 51 out of 56 seaplanes built, making the model company's first financial success and establishing a long-standing partnership with the U.S. military. When the war ended in 1918, a large surplus of cheap and used military planes flooded the commercial airplane market, preventing aircraft companies from selling any new airplanes, driving many out of business. Others, including Boeing, started selling other products. They built dressers, counters, and furniture, along with flat-bottom boats called sea sleds, a sort of a small boat for four passengers. Throughout the 1920s, Boeing developed many aircraft models, both for the military and transportation purposes. However, its first commercial airplane, the B-1, was not used to carry passengers, as coast-to-coast journeys often took more than 24 hours to commence. The aircraft delivered mail instead, and Boeing won several major delivery contracts from the U.S. Post Office. In order to operate growing airmail business, the company founded Boeing Air Transport in 1927 that gave birth to United Airlines 4 years later. With the World War II, Boeing focused its production in military bombers, and by the spring of 1944, the production of Boeing military aircraft ramped up so much that over 350 planes were built each month, mainly by women whose husbands had gone to war. Or the need for military bombers dropped rapidly as most orders were cancelled, making thousands of workers lose their jobs. The company tried to recover from this slowing demand by developing a commercial airliner that would be powered by turbofans instead of propellers, and that would be able to cross the Atlantic Ocean. Therefore, in 1958, Boeing created the 707, a four-engine airliner capable of carrying 156 passengers on a transatlantic route. Due to shorter journeys and more comfortable travel, the 707 quickly won the hearts of the passengers. The model was followed by the 727 Trijet and the 737 Twinjet, the latter becoming the world's best-selling commercial plane by the end of the past century. So, in order to keep up with growing number of aircraft sales, in 1966, Boeing commenced the monumental engineering challenge, the construction of the Everett factory. Despite the fact that the manufacturing facility was the world's largest building by volume, it was built in only 16 months by the group of amazing efficient workers later nicknamed the Incredibles. The Everett factory became home of the first wide-body jetliner Boeing 747, capable of carrying 490 passengers, more than twice as much as the 707. The aircraft held a capacity record for 37 years and was sold over 1,500 times. But even though the 747 gave monopoly in this wide-body market segment, the start of the 70s was hard for the plane manufacturer. It faced a $2 billion debt from the 747 production, and on the other hand, the US military reduced its spending for Vietnam War, which meant less military aircraft orders for Boeing. The company struggled so much that it went more than a year without a domestic order and had to lay off around half of the employees. However, the economic situation of the company began to improve in the 80s when the air traffic demand increased. By the 90s, Boeing completely regained its strong financial status. The company, along with Lockheed, another aerospace company, won an order from the US Air Force for the twin-engine stealth fighter F-22 Raptor. In addition to the jet, Boeing developed a hugely successful commercial aircraft, the 777. The long-range wide-body 777 was the first airplane to be designed by computer, and over 1,000 planes were sold to this day. The new millennium was marked by the development of a new mid-range airliner, the 787 Dreamliner. The plane was lighter and more fuel-efficient than most aircraft produced of aluminum alloys because almost half of the plane's fuselage and wings were made of carbon fiber and plastic composite materials. Originally scheduled to start commercial service in 2008, it was delivered to Japan's All Nippon Airways in 2011. The same year, Boeing signed the largest commercial aircraft order in its history, when Indonesia Lion Air ordered 201 737 MAX and 29 737-900ER airliners for the 21 billion at least prices. Related to pollution, Boeing is having success helping to build a more sustainable future for our industry and our planet. Its commitment to environmental leadership is seen in energy-efficient products and services that set the standard for reductions in fuel use, emissions, and community noise. It is in that way that they operate their factories, offices, and other facilities. Over the past 5 years, Boeing reduced greenhouse gases, water use, hazardous waste, and solid waste sent to landfill by up to 26%. Looking ahead, Boeing's business will be guided by a bold new strategy that further improves its environmental performance and footprint. It includes investing in advanced technologies such as hybrid electric aircraft propulsion, biofuel, and chemical alternatives. Also, meeting climate change and other challenges head-on requires a global approach. It is for this that Boeing works closely with government agencies, customers, stakeholders, and research facilities worldwide to develop solutions that help to protect the environment. During its story, Boeing has been through a lot: massive layoffs, huge debts, fierce competition. The past century proved that the company can adapt and evolve to face the challenges. With strong financial numbers, along with teams of bright scientists, engineers, and other employees, Boeing proudly enters the second century of its story and will continue to push the flight limits in the world.